Hello, welcome back. Right, I'm sorry I've not been around for a while. I sort of decided to take a break for a few weeks. Been busy at work, other things have been going on that have kind of sort of distracted my attention from the channel somewhat. But this is Valley of Rains, which has only been released a couple of days ago and which I sort of knew nothing about, and it quite surprised me. This is a ZX Spectrum 2019 homebrew game. It's absolutely fantastic, very, very well put together. It's an entry in the Yandex Museum ZX Spectrum Games competition, which received 19 submissions. There's 19 games, including this, on the website in the link down below. So if you want to download it, by all means do so. You can also buy a physical tape, as you can see there on the screen. Please support the people if you still like to play games on tape, and go out and get it. Now, like I say, this one sort of like took me by surprise. I first saw this being posted in the Spectrum groups a few days ago. The competition closed on the 5th of December, so on Thursday. And voting, because yes, you can vote for whatever your favourite entry is, closes on the 11th, and the winners will be announced, or the winning game will be announced on the 13th. So go and check some of them out. I know I'm going to definitely check some of them out because they look really, really nice. Now, as you can see here, we're already in Valley of Rain. You've seen a little bit of the plot go on the screen there. First things that's going to sort of pop into your head is that this is very reminiscent of games like Trantor and Savage, with big, bold, colourful graphics, really, really well animated main character there, running around the forest in her bra and pants, trying to save the Valley of Rains. There's not an awful lot on the sort of instructions on the game as to what the sort of plot is, other than what you already saw on the front there. But this is a really excellent game. It's really well put together. It's quite a standard side-scrolling sort of run and gun type game, as those others were. Trantor I've covered on the Spectrum, Commodore and Amstrad quite some time back. I don't think I've ever actually played Savage. I've seen it in screenshots before, and yes, it's an excellent game, like most probe games of the time seem to be. But as you can see, if you're familiar with those, you'll see the similarities here. We've got a HUD at the top of the screen there that displays our health, energy, and our score. As we run along the levels, we can get various different power-ups through killing enemies. We can get shields. We can get rotating sort of shields, different kind of different kinds of weapons, etc. We can collect these flowers, all good stuff. And just look at the sort of quality of the graphics. Like I say, a young lady there, sort of like our redhead, running around in a bra and knickers, laying waste to everything bad in the land. Must have been a sight to behold back in the day. This is yet another example of, I've said this before when I've covered homebrew games, you know, if this had been released back in the day, I'm sure it would have sold by the bucket load, because, you know, the amount of care, etc., that's been put into it, we would quite happily have spent a tenner of our own money on this back in the day, because it's really fantastic. The only criticism I would possibly have is that the sound is a bit weak. It seems to be a 48K game only. There's no sort of like AUI soundtrack playing. I've got this Spectaculator set on Spectrum Plus 2, and these are still the sound effects that we have now. If you were eagle-eyed, you've noticed on the titles there, it said that there was a CD, soundtrack CD that you could put in, and it kind of encouraged you to have that playing whilst you played the game, kind of like when US Gold released audio cassettes of the Outrun and 720 soundtracks alongside the 8-bit versions of the game, so you could pop the cassette in your stereo and have the arcade music blaring out whilst you played the game. I don't know what the CD soundtrack sounds like, but by all means, if anyone does, go and check it out. As you can see, everything's really colourable. There's very, very minimal colour clash going around. It really is a good game. Really good fun. I'd suggest, if you like this kind of game, particularly if you're into the sort of side to side, sort of left to right, right to left shooters, to by all means go and check it out, because as you can see, there's a level of care and expertise that's gone into this that is really, really impressive. Now, bear in mind, people that are making these games nowadays have to do so alongside daily life. They have to work, you know, probably got families to feed, houses to run, etc. And, you know, the dedication it must need to be able to sort of what was I going to say? Oh yeah, it's the dedication that must be required to sort of like utilize any free time that there may be to put into a creating a game for us specky fans is great. Now, like I said, download for Valley of Rains is available in the link in the description box below. There are also other games there. Please go and check them out. And if you feel like doing so, then vote, because you've got, it's the 7th of December now. Voting closes on the 11th, I think I said it was. So you've got a good 4 days to sort of have a go at some of these games and see what you think was the best. There is a new Retro Souls release in there. I always look out for Retro Souls games because they're absolutely fantastic, which I'll be checking out as soon as possible. Like I said, I'm really sorry that for the past few weeks I've not been about much. Other things have been going on, but I do want to sort of get back into it a bit, and I'll be hopefully bringing you a few of these games over the next day or so, because they're a lot simpler to do than the sort of comparison videos. The comparison videos I have to sort of set all the various machines up, record, stop, and so on and so forth until such time as I've got everything together. Then I've got to get the memory card out my phone, put that into the computer, put everything together, and sometimes it can be a bit of a pain. These one-off Spectrum games, I can use Spectaculator's recording mode, which I've done here, and you know, they process in seconds, and it takes minimal effort to sort of get things ready and uploaded, really. But I always like to cover in homebrew games. I'm always fascinated by the fact that people still, here comes the cat, he's going to walk across everything. You will not, of course, see, get out of it. You will not, of course, see that. He's still being a pain in the arse. Yeah, I've always loved homebrew Spectrum games. I think it's absolutely fantastic that 37 years people are still making games for this wonderful machine and the other machines as well. Right, I'm just going to let the rest of Valley of Rains play out. It's an excellent game. Do check it out. Check out all the rest of the entries in the competition as well, please, and vote, because, you know, we need to... these things are only good for us at the end of the day. We get new games. We've got 19 new games that don't cost us a penny to play. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you like the video, please let me know. If you wish to subscribe, please do so. But if you do subscribe, please take the time to join in the conversations, because that's what it's all about. Thank you ever so much for watching. Take care. Goodbye.